Roadhouse Casinos, which are a division of Caesars Entertainment, which is headquartered in Las Vegas. Anyway, they're going to tell you about that relationship and about what's going on in Tunica and the new sports book action and everything else in the wide, wonderful world of gaming.
Yes.
So, fellas,
Definitely
the
expand.
floor is yours. Take it away, please.
So first, before we start, I think we'll do a video just so you can see a little bit about the company. Just like Chris said, Romy and I, we both work for Caesars Entertainment. It's based out of Las Vegas, but we have regional properties all over the country. And we have properties now that we're expanding worldwide. So this will just kind of show you a little bit about the company. Has anybody been to Las Vegas that's in here? Did you have a good time? Yes, you better. So that's an amazing place. So we have like a little Las Vegas in Tunica.
Andre, you want us to kill the lights as best we can? Come on, we want to see the worst tourist traps.
No. Oh God, no.
This is a few movies that have been filmed at some of our properties.
Mr. Vegas, you are Mr. Las Vegas now, man. That's our hotel right there.
That's where we're going.
Fountain.
Very elegant. Look at the statue. Some statue of David.
Yeah, that's the actual name, and they flew it here.
No, they didn't.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, great.
And it's on the aisle. They put it in front. You know why? Because this is a winner.
I'm not Tony Stark.
Look at worst things have happened. I think we're going to be fine totally up with it.
All right, tomorrow, don't be late.
Another question?
Sure.
Probably get this a lot. This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
There were nights the four of us will never forget.
I believe I can fly.
Kick yourself out a little bit. Alan! Get it? Ah! Holy!
That's not me.
So that is a little just preview of some of the stuff that we see on a pretty frequent basis. But hospitality wise, I would say casinos in comparison to hotels, but we also have tons of hotels, it's hotels on steroids because you have so much more than just a hotel. You have food and beverage, you have celebrity chefs, you have clubs, bars, restaurants, pools. So our job in this world is to create experiences. So in my role as Vice President of Hospitality, I'm over everything non-gaming, so hotel and food and beverage is kind of what I do. But a little bit about my background, I was once in school as well for hospitality, and I was sitting in the same chair that you all were sitting in. And I went to University of Houston, and I majored in hospitality. Didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I got into the industry. I didn't know if I wanted to work in a regular hotel or what I wanted to do. So we had a career fair, and at the career fair, Caesars was actually there. So I was talking to them, and that was my first job out of college, and I've been with the company ever since. My first job, I actually moved from Houston to Tunica. I worked in Tunica for a few years, and then I moved to Las Vegas for 10, and then came back, and I've been here now for 3. So it's been great. I've worked for multiple properties. I've seen all the stuff that you see. I've been in meetings where we have to shut down the strip because they're filming a movie, and you have to plan all that stuff, and sitting down with celebrity chefs and open up restaurants and just stuff that you only truly see in the movies. So for me, this is the funnest thing. It's not even like going to work. It's you're sitting in rooms and talking to Romeo about customers that are coming in and they're dropping $1 million. So we got to make sure everything on the hospitality side, you can't have any issues. If somebody's coming in and they're paying that type of money, you got to make sure their room is the way it should be. You have to make sure when they go to the steakhouse, it's the way it should be as well. And in this background, sometimes it's a little hard to fathom trying to put all that stuff together. So if you're just a chef, like we recently had a new chef that we hired in, great guy, he's worked under multiple people, but he's worked in regular restaurants. So the difference in a regular restaurant is if somebody has a bad experience, they potentially just don't come back to the restaurant. In our world, if $1 million customer comes in and has a bad experience, you're not only losing that person not coming back, you're losing $1 million customer. So you have to make sure that every experience that somebody has is beyond what their expectations are, so you can create all the stuff that you see in this movie. So that's my role, and I'll let Romeo kind of explain his role.
So
A little bit different.
I'm totally from the opposite spectrum. I actually went here from 95 to 2000. I was a pre-med student. Didn't know anything about hospitality or anything. Got double major. Then casinos came after me in 2003. It's because I loved the nightlife. I was going out every night, meeting people left and right. And then to me, spending time at a casino was way much better than spending time at the hospital. Both of them were open 24/7. You can be a little buzzed up when you answer a phone from a casino than a hospital. But I got in, I oversee all the high-end players, all the big money players, the whales, as we call them in our business. And then I got 2 other departments, one is Asian marketing, which is the Far East. And that department is probably growing in all of the hospitality in the industry. I mean, the Asian play from Baccarat to Blackjack is growing crazy, and we got markets in the United States from Houston to Dallas, Atlanta, Nashville, Memphis, got a lot of big communities. So we target that market a lot as well. But the thing about our company, Caesars, as you saw, we got 53 properties all over the world. So outside the United States, you got London clubs, which is London, Scotland, Egypt, and now we're opening a hotel in Dubai as well, Caesars Hotel. So there's opportunity to live not just in the US or other cities in the US, you can go globally and expand. And just like Andre said, I mean, I'm different. I've been in Tunica all my life, 15 years, but I do go back and forth between Vegas, AC, New Orleans, just wherever we have properties to take care of gamblers. And obviously not everybody is a big whale, but we cater to everyone. From if you're a $100 player, if you're a $50 player, to if you're a $10 million player. you will have something for them, for everybody. And just like Andre said, with the difference between hotels and restaurants in the real life, when they're in the casino, it's an amenity. Like we have the hotel and the restaurant there to cater to our players. They're not there for us to make cash revenue off of. I mean, Andre will tell you, if you go to the Peabody and they have one room empty during the week, they're freaking out because they're missing revenue on that one. Well, us, all I need is one guy to stay at the hotel with the right amount of credit line, and he covers the whole bill for the whole week, for the whole day. So it's a different kind of perspective between what the hotel hospitalities and the restaurant stuff does, which is a huge amenity for us. And just like he said, obviously y'all seen, we got Gordon Ramsay, we have Giada, we got Guy Savoy, we have Guy Fieri, we got some of the top chefs in the world that open restaurants with us, and that's a huge amenity for us as well. So the other thing is, we're looking into expansion into Greece, hopefully will come soon, and then Japan and South Korea. Those are two other spots that we're looking into. So there's a lot of expansion with our company, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, you meet a lot of interesting people, a lot of exciting people. You work with people. Honestly, most of the people I worked with been there since almost day one as Horseshoe opened. It's been there for 20 years, 25 years. So there's not a huge turnover with our employees too. So which is a great one as well. Am I missing anything else? I'll tell you some funny stories in a little bit. Last time I got yelled at, but I mean, obviously there's a lot of crazy gamblers out in the world that you see it in the movies. You've
I'll
seen
tell the story about the guy that dressed up in the costume.
Nice. So God found this guy in Miami. I won't say his name, but he called me. He's like, "Hey, I'll come give you a shot. I'm bringing $2 million cash. What will you do for me?" I was like, "I'll send you a plane to pick you up." We send him a private jet, picks him up. He got his own transportation. We bring him in. He got his own room, private table. Everything is all private. But he showed up, and the pilot sent me the picture. He goes, "You sure I'm picking up the right guy?" I was like, "What?" He was in a full-body Superman costume, muscles and everything. Came on the casino floor, literally $2 million cash. Played it. Couldn't say nothing to him. I was like, "Whatever floats your boat, buddy. Just come on in down and play." I mean, I'll show you all the picture, but the guy is, it was fun. Needless to say, that was a great week for me because he lost it and kept everybody employed. So, but there's a lot of celebrities come too. So when the Grizzlies play, we got a lot of the visiting team players. Name them, they're all been there. I mean, from LeBron to MJ to they all visited the casino floor. So, not just gambling. Sometimes just going to a good restaurant to eat in a good steakhouse and have fun. We've seen a lot of people. I mean, at first when you get in that business, you'll be shocked. It'll be like a big awe, like holy crap. First time I did it, like when I saw a guy lose maybe like $300 in one hand, I was like, holy smokes, that's a lot of money. And then you just get used to it. It just grows on you. Just like working in a restaurant, you get sick of the food you eat every day. And sometimes you just watch it and like, what? Bless them, hopefully they come back. You just gotta keep on grinding, finding new people. And then you build a lot of relationships are huge in this business. So one thing about our business, casino relationships and honesty. Because all it takes is one lie to one of these big guys and you'll never see him again and you'll never get introduced to their network. Because their network is huge. It's a small niche, but they're humongous. It's maybe like 5% of the casino business is big whales. But those guys control a lot of the revenue we have because I mean, not a lot of people can afford to lose the money they lose, right? But they all kind of around each other. They're always together. They're going to blackjack tournaments. They're going to craps tournaments. They're going to slot tournaments all together. So if you lie to one guy, you're jeopardizing the whole relationship with everybody else. So honestly, it doesn't matter how painful it is to you to be honest with them. Always be honest, and you will gain the respect for the rest of your life, and that will build up the whole relationship with you and them. And they will respect because they're all businessmen. I mean, business people don't want people lying to them. They want you to be upfront with them, be honest with them, and you will grow your book like you won't believe. And if you come to the hotel side, a lot of people start off in the hotel. They always move up to the host. The host department is mostly where everybody would like to go in the casino business because that's when you deal with the players. But everybody, I mean, your interaction with gamblers at all different levels. I mean, from entertainment to restaurant to hotel, and now that we opened a sports book, which was huge for us. The sports book is not all about the gambling profitability that we're going to get, because we don't hold much of it, but it's all about the foot traffic that was going to start coming to Tunica for us. So before, I'll give you an example, when Super Bowl Sunday was going on, everybody's going to Vegas because they can bet on the game, they can watch the game, they can do prop bets, who's going to score the first touchdown, is it going to be heads or tails for the freaking winning coin toss. They're betting on everything. Is Justin Timberlake going to be wearing tennis shoes coming out on stage for the halftime show? Is Lady Gaga going to wear a red hat? They're betting on everything. So now we open it in Mississippi, which was one of the few states, with only 8 states that got legal sports book. So now we're getting all that foot traffic that was leaving from Nashville, from Atlanta, from all around us. I was going to Vegas to dump in all that money. Now it's coming to Tunica, and hopefully it'll increase the foot traffic, and more players will start going to slots, spending more money in the steakhouse, buffet. You know, it just, again, it's a domino effect. But if you want to add on the sports book.
So sportsbook's been great so far. Like you said, for us, sportsbooks don't really make a ton of money because the odds are really for the players. 50% chance they're going to cover the spread, 50% chance they're not. So we don't make a lot, but it's more just getting people into the building, because once you're there, you're probably going to eat, you're probably going to play another game, you may stay at the hotel. So just to drive that traffic has been great so far. So it used to just only be legal in Nevada, so Las Vegas and Reno and Laughlin. But then the laws changed, so now nationwide it's been legalized. But then there's still states that have not legalized it in their state. Mississippi, we pre-passed some laws ahead of time, so we got it faster than pretty much everybody else. So between us, New Jersey, and Mississippi, those are the only places as of now. Arkansas doesn't have it, Louisiana doesn't have it yet. So if you're in the South and you want to bet on a game of any type, because we have, if you want to bet on a UFC fight, anything, we pretty much have where you can bet on it. So that's been good so far. So in the hospitality side, I will say the difference between a casino hotel versus a regular hotel is, in my world, my ideal night would be if every room was comped, which that doesn't make sense in a regular hotel, because in a regular hotel you want the highest room rate so you can make the most revenue for all your available rooms. But just like Romeo was saying, if every room is comp, people have to qualify to get a comp room. So if they qualified, we set certain qualifications. So on a Saturday night, we may say, if you're not a $1,000 player, you can't get a hotel room. So we break every player into different segments. So I can yield kind of the low-end customers out of the hotel and only concentrate on your high-end customers, because there's a high demand on a Saturday. On a Tuesday, Wednesday, it'll be a lot easier to get a comp hotel room. But that was kind of one of the main differences on the hospitality side. Other than that, it's still a hotel room. It's still housekeeping, front desk, bellman, valet. Everything else is the same. But you're just dealing with different clientele than you would in some other places. You're dealing with really high-end customers. Their expectations are higher, so your service level has to meet their expectations. What questions do you all have? Go ahead.
What made you pursue your career with the hospitality, like casino for Caesars?
Well, to be honest, I didn't even know anything about casinos, because where I'm from in Houston, Texas, gaming is just like Tennessee, it's not legal. So I didn't even really have any exposure, any experience. I worked at a Four Seasons before. I worked at a Marriott, at a Wyndham. So that was my background. I didn't even know. I never went to Las Vegas before I moved there. The only experience I had was just in traditional hotels. It wasn't until I interviewed and I talked to them. I said, this sounds it sounds nice. Actually, we had a guest speaker come to the hotel, similar to us, and it was one time, and they're talking about gaming. So at that point, it started kind of running through my mind. I wonder what that's about. And then when I interviewed with Caesars and I saw how fun the company looked, it's more than just a hotel. You have shows going on. Romeo just hosted the Playboy Golf Tournament, which was amazing. I mean, there's so many different things that they do outside of just the hotel. That's what kind of pulled me in, so I wanted to try it out. And then when I did,
like the atmosphere of it.
The atmosphere of it. The atmosphere. There's always something going on. It's really fast paced. You're thinking about strategies, and it's fun. So I think that's what really kind of pulled me into it. Because I already worked in a regular hotel, so I knew what that was. And then when I tried this out, I was hooked. This is my first job out of college.
In addition to his, though, our benefits are amazing too. I mean, we have unbelievable benefits from 401k, the match the company does, the insurance for you and your spouse or you and your significant other is unbelievable compared to other companies. We're up there with FedEx and International Paper, probably bigger than International Paper in our benefits, which not a lot of companies are matching with 401ks now with the economy being the way it is. A lot of people shut it down. But we're actually starting January 1st, we're matching up to 50%, which is huge with us. So that's another big thing to keep thinking if you're trying to get into a company. I mean, benefits are always a big chunk, especially if you got a family, kids. I mean, if you're planning on getting married or whatever, think about benefits. Benefits are huge.
And I will say another thing that got me was when I looked at the pay at a regular
Right, yeah.
hotel versus
too.
a casino hotel, we traditionally pay more because, you know, you obviously have a higher expectation because you're dealing with millionaires. So the pay also pushed me into it too.
You're dealing with more crazies at a casino hotel than you are at a regular hotel.
Right.
And that's not like, I mean,
What about the monkey story? That's another good one.
It's stuff that we do. I mean, I had a guy that literally, he just comes in, he'll play 2 hands of 5,000 a pop, but he always brought a stuffed monkey. It's just a true story, I'm not making this stuff up. He brings a stuffed monkey, he'll sit down with the monkey at the blackjack table. If the monkey busts, he'll cuss him out. Then he'll call, he goes, I need dinner for 2 in the steakhouse. It's like, who's it for? It's like, me and the monkey. I was like, no problem. Whatever keeps you happy, brother. Sit down, eat. I mean, he'll order a full meal for 2. It's no joke.
Crazy stuff.
But you just gotta swallow it and smile.
Well, I have a question. Speaking hypothetically, with that monkey, sounds like the customer was somewhat deranged.
He was a hell of a business guy. He was a big CEO of a company, so. But
You didn't need to cover him up with security. You didn't have to-
no, it was good.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
It was good. There's a lot of crazy
Think about it.
ones.
Just sit down and you're eating a nice steak and you look over and you see somebody sitting there with a monkey.
You'll see some good stuff.
A stuffed animal.
It's a stuffed
monkey.
animal. It's not a
And
real
it has
animal.
a full steak, baked potato, everything.
Go ahead.
For someone, I'm doing, or looking into doing event coordinating. For someone involved with casinos and event coordinating, what advice would you have?
So with event, we have an amazing department with events, and so perfect example. They ran my whole Playboy golf tournament last week, which was it's one of the biggest golfing events we have in the South, and it attracts a lot of big players. For the event coordinator, you have a lot of responsibility. Just for one reason, you got to make sure everything falls in line, because one mess up and I mean, we're going to take the blame, but it's always going to come back on the event people because they're the one running the whole event. I mean, you got to make sure the gaming commission got all the rules for the event. That's one thing about coordination with the casinos. Gaming commission rules are always very important with us. So you got to make sure those are right. If it's a blackjack tournament, you got to make sure it's run right. There's no cheating. You know, you got to make sure the player's name is the right name with their date of birth, because we had one casino actually in Indiana messed up. They had a drawing, same name, 2 people had the same name but different date of birth, and they gave the winner, the wrong person, the winning amount, which they had to pay for 2 people instead of 1 because they couldn't retract it. So you always just gotta pay great attention to detail when you're in event coordination. I mean, that's my biggest advice is pay attention to detail, because a lot relies on event people. But you're around a lot of fun stuff though too. I mean, you'll meet a lot of great artists. You'll meet a lot of fun celebrities when you're doing the events, because we do a lot of stuff with celebrities. So we host the Walter Payton golf tournament as well. We did the Brett Favre 4-Way Foundation, Mike Miller, Penny Hardaway. I did Timberlake and Cameron Diaz when they were together. We did a bunch of events with them. You meet a lot of fun people. But attention to detail, hands down, is what I tell my event coordinators to focus on.
What's the hardest part about dealing with people, with customers, with Caesars at the casino?
Dealing with keeping everybody happy. It's always a challenge, which is never gonna happen. But on my side, I always tell my employees, try to stay away from the answer no. I hate that word, because you're always gonna try to figure out something. If you can't give them a steakhouse, you can give them a buffet. If not a buffet, maybe the 8-ounce burger. But don't ever tell somebody no off the bat because you don't want to do it or you want to be lazy. It just irritates the living crap out of me.
Two questions. One, do y'all have a Houston-Memphis rivalry? Because that is a real one between y'all two.
Well, it's not a rivalry. It's an aspect.
Speak up so the folks, I couldn't even hear that one.
Do y'all have a Houston and Memphis rivalry? Because they are definitely rivals.
No,
Yeah, they are rivals. They're definitely rivals.
We are, but you grow out of that. When you're in business, you kind of grow out of. I mean, my best friend played football here with D'Angelo Williams. He was the star of the football program here. So I do bring him over. Actually, October, not to veer off, but October is breast cancer awareness, which that's big on for D'Angelo's foundation. And then, but we do a event called Battle of the Bras, where we model bras. Men wear bras to raise money for breast cancer. And last year I had D'Angelo, Mike Miller, Gary Barnage. They love it. It just kind of just raising money. But for the rivalry part, Memphis always going to be on top of Houston.
No, but
Football, basketball, especially now basketball, they got no shot.
Basketball, we don't.
They got no shot.
Football, we've always had a good.
We'll see in
team.
3 weeks.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Number 2.
And how does Vegas compare to Tunica?
Well,
So it's different. It's a different experience. In Vegas, everything is. I mean, it's a destination market. It's a place that people go maybe once, twice a year. You save up all year, you go. So what they have there, like the hotel I worked at had 3,500 hotel rooms, which is crazy. You know, Tunica, we have 500. The restaurants you have celebrity chefs, you have the best pool. So as a company, everything that we test out, we trial, everything happens in Las Vegas first, and then once they master it, then they kind of bring it. So we get stuff a little bit later than other places would there, because they do pool parties, they have the new technology in the sports book, they have stuff that's gonna be like a little mobile robot that's taking the bets, kind of going through on the housekeeping side, they have robots. We have technology right now where as soon as you check into the hotel, there's a system called Ivy. It sends you a text message. It's your personal concierge. We're just getting it in Tunica, but it's been in Vegas now for probably a year, if not longer. So we get stuff a little bit later, but as far as the amenities and stuff that we have, it's on a smaller scale, but we have a lot of stuff. Like our suite product is, what you saw there was like Nobu Hotel in Las Vegas, and they have some villas. I mean, they have suites there that are bigger than houses. It's unbelievable. But we have some really good suite product as well.
So Vegas is a destination, but if you're the gambling part is Tunica is more of a gambling destination. If you want to gamble and not be bothered, it's perfect because nobody knows you, and we're in the middle of nowhere. And the other part is we'll give you the limits too. We're not scared to take a bet. I mean, we'll go from $100 minimum to 100,000 max bet. It doesn't bother us. Not a lot of casinos will do that because it's a huge spread. But if you're a true gambler and you want your limits, I mean, Tunica will compete with Vegas all day long, especially the Horseshoe. I mean, we give 100-time odds on craps, which is no other casino in the country will give anybody 100-time odds on craps up to 10,000 max bet. So it's a lot of money.
Is it difficult to obtain a job like within the casino hotels due to the fact that everybody already pays those amounts to the hotel?
But I don't think people know that. That's the thing. Hell, I didn't know it, and the only reason I knew it was because I happened to go to career fair and talk to this one person, and once I went through the process a little bit, like you all know that now because I told you, but before that, did y'all know that?
No.
Exactly. So I don't think people know that, but it is not difficult because there's always demand, there's turnover, there's people that, you know, they're transitioning, they get their foot in the door, but then they want to transfer to another department, they want to do something else, or they go to another market, or, so I don't think it's difficult at all.
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Do you all provide like on-the-job training, or do they want you to already have those?
No. We do provide on-the-job training, but experience is always
A plus?
absolutely.
But at the same time, not everybody has, because there's not casinos here in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Same thing in Mississippi. So before the casinos came to Tunica, it was the poorest county in the country. Casinos helped to revive that economy. And none of those people that came in had any experience because they were used to working in different types of jobs. And before casinos came, there was no casinos. So we do get a lot of people that don't have experience, especially on some of the, depending on what the position is. Could you go in to being a casino manager or a hotel manager with no experience? No, but you can come in at another level and then kind of work through. Actually, I started off as a bellman when I first started in hotels, and I went from bellman to front desk agent to lead to supervisor, just kind of worked my way through the ranks.
You definitely don't need the experience. I mean, I came from pre-med
Right,
background, and now I'm in charge of crazy players. It just
Monkeys.
It's all about, honestly, like my old boss used to tell me, it's always third grade math degree and common sense and street smart. If you got those three, you'll be good at any job.
Well, just remember, fellas, we're trying to sell a college education.
That is a college education. I'm telling you, I had two bachelors of science.
Throw these guys a bone or something, man.
2 bachelors of science. I love this university. What are you talking about?
I have a question.
Yes.
What may seem like a dumb question.
No dumb questions.
Man.
I've been to Vegas a few times, and we took our children last year for Christmas. They're adult children, but we're Hilton members.
Mhm.
So naturally, when we come and we see all these amazing things, and we go to the shows and stuff, we're like, wow, we want to stay here. But then we go and say, well, why would I spend? You know, I'm.
So our reward program is actually it's just won the best reward program in the hospitality business for 2019 in Vegas last night. Our our CEO, the older CEO, Gary Loveman, he's the one that started the whole TR program, that's why Delta started their own reward program. It's a copy after our company's reward program, but our reward program is insane. Right? So you can use it. Let's say you played in Tunica, you stayed with us, you accumulated points. You can use those points in Vegas. You can use them in London. You can use them in South Africa. You can use them anywhere you go around the world, wherever we have properties.
Here's my catch. We don't gamble. We just.
You don't have to
So
gamble.
that's the good
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
with our program, because
Okay.
so like Romeo was saying earlier, in Tunica there's a lot of gamblers and it's catered to the gambler. So I would say like on a Saturday night, 80% of the hotel is casino, maybe 20% is just retail, they're coming down. In Vegas it's completely different. It may be 50-50. So there's some people that go to Vegas, they don't even gamble at all. All they want to do is go to a show, go to a nice dinner, go to a nightclub, go to a pool. So you actually get credit for all of that stuff.
As long as
So-
you show your total rewards card, you just definitely have to show that but if you just pay for it without the total reward cards, then you're not going to get points for it, obviously.
If you go to Omnia and get table service and you spend $5,000 on bottles,
I don't recommend that.
you get credit for $5,000 for whatever you spend money on. So it's not even gaming; they have non-gaming as well. You pay money at the hotel, you get credit for that.
Thank you.
No problem.
I do have another question. Do y'all have families? So how does your job affect your family?
So I'll go. With me, it's hard. I mean, I'm on the road a lot, and I tried the girlfriend part for a couple of times, and if it's not somebody in the industry or that travels a lot, then it did not work. I mean, but I'm happy with it just because I got 3 beautiful god kids and 2 beautiful nieces. I don't need my own. I'm good. That's why I can hand them back to their parents. Like, here you go. I spend my time with them. Y'all have fun. You change the diapers. I'm good. No, but it's hard. But with me, it's tough to settle down because I want to retire young. I mean, my goal is honestly to retire 55, 60 is my goal to retire. But if I want to do that, that's my own decision. I'm married to my job. I mean, my phone doesn't turn off. It's these two sleep with me, and if it rings at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if it rings at 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm always answering it. And that one thing was always a big fight between us. But, you know, hell, it's my own choice, and I'm happy with it. For him, I can't speak for him. So I'm still waiting on Maury Povich to let me know if I got any kids. But
Do you still have a TV show?
I watch him every day, waiting on that phone call.
So for me, it's simple. I don't have a family, no kids, and it is a very demanding job. But I think anything in the hospitality industry is, and it's more of a choice. And because we work with a ton of people, and they have families, they have kids. You just got us, and we don't. But in the industry, in the casino, most of the people we work with, they have a lot of kids, and they have families at home. So one of the things I'm big on is making sure that you have a good home and work balance. So I have leaders that try to work the same amount of time as me because they see me working and doing different things. I'll say, no, you need to go home, go to your family, take care of the kids. So it is about having a good balance. And whether you're in a casino hotel or a regular hotel, they're all demanding. You just have to make sure that you have that balance.
I think we're the only two guys in management that don't.
We are.
Honestly.
You just ironically.
Hey, yeah. Everybody else in our company.
We go to Vegas, we're partying just like we're 21.
I'm like meetings at 7 a.m. I haven't grown.
I'm like, Romeo, where are we going tonight? We got a table at where do we go?
Wherever we go. 1-0, it doesn't matter. But I love it because my whole business started building relationships with people, being out with folks, and just the more I was out, the more relationships I built. I mean, I met Chris probably back in 1998 with Kevin Kane, and Kevin was the first guy I met in Memphis. He kind of introduced me to a lot of stuff. But just a quick background on when I was in college in 2000, we got John Calipari became our head coach for basketball. I'm a people's person, and I tell people that all the time. If you want to meet somebody, go up to them and talk to them. The worst thing they're going to tell you is, no, I don't want to talk. Walk away. But if they say hi and have a conversation with you, you built a new relationship. They're going to remember you. They'll always talk to you. I mean, I met Cal. We became great friends. We're friends to this day. He still comes down to the casino, bring a lot of money from Kentucky with him. For my guy, brings me out tons of guys. It's all of it. That's why when you said rivalry, I've kind of overgrew. Memphis I'll always be blue. Memphis is in my heart, but when it comes to business, you got to put that to the side and build the relationships with the people, because if you're gonna keep on holding a grudge, oh my God, I hate Tennessee, which I do, but at the same time, if Philip Fulmer comes to me and said, hey, I want to host my golf tournament at your place, I'll be an idiot to say, hell no, you coach at Tennessee, get the hell out. You gotta be good in relationships, because it's a huge relationship business.
Just the fact that you speak 4 different languages, does that give you more of an advantage to everybody else?
Wow.
You have more
You
advantage?
did your research.
It really is. It does.
Actually,
I speak for him. It gives him a bit.
I
I
do.
speak one language, and I hear
So
him. He's talking to people, and
it's huge, because that gives me, it's actually giving me an opportunity to move up with the company, take over Middle Eastern marketing one day, which Middle East, including all the Arabic countries. Arabic is one of my first languages. Hebrew is my second. So I was born in Israel, so it's a fun country. If you ever want to visit, don't listen to the news. I'm there once a year. So when you speak Hebrew to the Jewish community, to the Israelis, and then you go to Lebanon or Egypt or Dubai and you speak Arabic, they trust you more because you're speaking their tongue, where you can, if you're trying to relate in a different language. And it's a big advantage, absolutely.
Besides Arabic, Hebrew, and English, what is your fourth?
French and Italian. Yeah.
I love language.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, how did you learn all those languages?
So, was born in Israel, was raised, I lived there when I was 17, but again, Arabic and Hebrew are the main two languages over there. First grade, we had to learn English because it's an international language and you can't survive without English. And then the school I went to was an all-nun school, Italian school. So third grade, we had to pick Italian. And then when you get to 8th grade, you have to pick another foreign language. My stupid ass, if I knew Spanish was gonna grow up like it is, but I went with French because we were close to Lebanon and France, and both of them speak a lot of French. But I wish I would learn Spanish or Mandarin, actually. Mandarin is gonna take over soon. I mean, they're expanding. When I tell you that the Asian business is unbelievable. If you ever get a chance to go to Macau, which it's probably Vegas on steroids. I mean, Vegas probably make our 500-600 million. Our company, I'm talking. Macau is making 2 to 3 billion a year in revenue. It's the amount of money over there. Their minimum bets at the table is $500,000 minimum bet, which is hard to comprehend. If that means one bet is $500,000, so people, you're going 10 million up, 10 million down within a span of 10 minutes. It's crazy. It is. It's a lot of money.
It is. Sometimes when I see this, like somebody playing $50,000, $100,000 a hand, I'm like, damn, that was a house.
But to show you the attention to detail in the hotels. So even if you go to Vegas or Caesar's in the win, just because the Asian culture, the number 4 is a bad number for them. So if you go to the Wynn and Caesar's, there's no 4th floor. There's no 4th floor at any of the hotels, and there's no 4 spots at any of the baccarat tables. You will never see a 4 on anything. But that's attention to detail, because perfect example. So we had one guy, actually, I used to have a gambler come to the horseshoe all the time. If the limo driver opened his door from the left-hand side, he'll get back in the car, tell him, take me back to the airport. I'm not gambling. That's how superstitious they are. You always have to open the door from the right-hand side. If you open it from the left, you lost a trip. He'll tell you, I'm not gambling. It's attention to detail. Attention to detail, relationships, always. And if you're getting the host business, answer these sons of a gun 24/7. Do not let them go. Because if you miss that call, that person can call anybody else in the world and get that business. You lose a whole lot. I mean, I live by my phones.
What has been your most rewarding experience in your career so far? That moment where you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Mine, living this life. It's like, I mean, I'm meeting people I used to watch on TV. I mean, you're hanging out with Guy Silva, you're hanging out with Gordon Ramsay, you're like drinking with Giada. It's fun, I mean, one night we got one of the best golf events in the country, Celebrity Golf in Lake Tahoe, which we do every year, and you'll meet everybody from, you name it, Tony Romo, JT, Carlton, which is a lot. It's a lot of fun. You meet tons of people. And again, I'm keep on going back. It's the relationship you build with these guys, because now it's not just a business. Now you're becoming friends, and if you're friends and you have those relationships, it's way cheaper.
So I would agree. I think mine, a lot of them came in Las Vegas and doing the same stuff, meeting celebrity chefs and coming up with these strategic game plans. And you're sitting in a room with tons of people and everybody's coming up with different ideas. And I was just sitting there thinking, this is what I wanted to do. This is amazing. I'm talking to celebrities. I'm walking this person to the pool. A lot of my celebrity crushes, I've met them. And I told them too. I was like, you know what, you're my celebrity crush. They're like, that's so cute.
Now, if you would, fellas, tell us a little bit about, you folks aren't the only corporation in the business.
No.
You've got some competition.
There's a lot. There's tons of, I'll talk on my end. So there's 3 big monster corporations in the gaming industry. Us, MGM, and Pinnacle Entertainment, which now merged with Ameristar, but Penn National too. But the Wynn and the, Sheldon Addo, Las Vegas Sands, they're entrepreneurs, so they're independent, but they still compete because they're in Macau. That's only 2 properties in Macau, which is huge for them. But on my end, the competition becomes who's going to get that big player first, because everybody's fighting over it. It's the same. I'll put it in perspective. It's like basketball. So Penny Hardaway is going after James Wiseman right now. James Wiseman is the #1 recruit in the country. I'll put him next to, we get this gambler got a $2 million line, right? He got a $2 million credit line. I want him at my casino first, where everybody else is throwing the sink at him. I'll give him planes. I'll give him butler service. I'll give him his own car for the whole week, wherever, as long as he wants to stay. Sometimes we give people money to walk in the door. Like, I'll give you $20,000. Here you go. Your first bet is on me. Just come visit. It's that competition, and if you, that's why I said answer your phone, because if you lose that call, the competition will always get it, and then it's hard. It's going to cost you 10 times what it was going to cost you at first to bring them back to you.
And on the hospitality side, I think competition-wise, because this industry has moved so fast, they're always on the cutting edge of technology and different things when you think about innovation on the hotel side in the rooms. So trying to keep up with those trends, because as your MGM next door implements new technology and different things in their room and has a new design, is that going to pull a customer to go stay over there now because their hotel has a better, it's just a better experience at their hotel. So I'm always trying to think of different ways that we can innovate and be creative. And it's hard sometimes too, because when they give out capital money to redo your hotels and your properties, they do it based on ROI, return on investment. And a big part of our company being based in Las Vegas, obviously you're going to get a bigger return on investment. So we just renovated all the rooms at the Link. The Flamingo's getting a full renovation. Caesar's Palace just got renovated. Bally's, Rio, Paris, all of them. So they get the money first before it comes to Tunica. So that's always a challenge, trying to plead a business case that we need to upgrade and we need to do this. And they'll look at it as, okay, if we do that at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, we're going to get the money back a lot quicker than we would in Tunica. Which I get it, but I still want the rooms now.
Now, Andres, you also have a property down in Biloxi.
We do. We have a Harris property down in Biloxi, so they recently also just opened up their sports book. So they're doing well. We have a property down in New Orleans. Has anybody been down to New Orleans? It's right downtown New Orleans. It's beautiful. It's the only casino that's down there, but they have great food.
And it's non-smoking.
Beautiful hotel. It's non-smoking. That's one of the laws that they came up with in Louisiana. But I know when they first, so it didn't start that way, because people typically when they gamble, they want to drink a cocktail, they want to smoke a cigarette. So when they first implemented that law, it took a huge part of the business. A lot of people just didn't come back. I think it was like 30% of the business was gone just because we said you can't smoke in here. Because it just kind of goes hand in hand with gambling.
Can you smoke in Tunica?
Oh yeah.
You can.
Oh yeah. I'll fight. I will fight that one till the day I leave Tunica. And I don't smoke, but I will fight it till the day I leave, because if you take smoking away from Tunica, you lose 60% of the business. It'll be dead.
They smoke on the machines.
It'll be dead.
They just sit
I
there and
mean,
don't smoke. But all the restaurants and stuff, all the hospitality
yeah,
stuff is not gaming.
there's no smoking in there, but
No smoking, but just on the casino floor you can smoke.
So I'm kind of interested in hospitality marketing, but I don't see marketing as far as casinos. So is that a need in the casino industry? Because
absolutely. Marketing is huge.
Okay. But I'm saying like TV-wise, as far as like getting the attention of people, like how do you all market?
So now with everybody got a cell phone, right? You're gonna get a lot of emails. Tons of emails will be coming out from marketing. One. The other thing is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. What else?
We do have billboards.
Billboards are still going, because you're going down 61. You'll see a lot of billboards as well on us. TV, they were still there. Not as much. I mean, companies, when the economy went bad, they did a lot of cutting on the marketing side, right? Advertisement and marketing side. But marketing is huge. All the events we do, that's all under marketing. Oh yeah, all our events it all falls under events, goes under marketing. Entertainment falls under marketing. Everything is under marketing. Absolutely.
Are there any clocks on the casino floor?
No.
No.
We keep it cold with no clocks.
Everybody got a cell phone.
Pumps them full of oxygen too?
No. The oxygen part, man, that's a myth.
That is a myth.
That's a myth. There's no oxygen on the casino floors.
It's just smoke.
The ventilation system is amazing. Our ventilation system is pretty good, but there's no oxygen. We don't pump oxygen.
But that is a myth about casinos, that they pump oxygen.
To keep you awake
There's
and-
no clocks, because they just want you to gamble all day and night. You lose track of the time. Before you know it, it's 7 in the morning. And
Been plenty of players I had to carry up to the room, not because they were drunk, because they were asleep on the freaking blackjack table.
Now, Romeo, is that something, before we let time get too far past us, you've got a box of recruiting material up there.
That's Andre's stuff.
Oh, it's Andre.
No, this is
No,
not
I'm just kidding.
Andre's stuff.
I'm just kidding. It's just cards and dice. You cannot use on the casino. They've been cut and they've been freaking stuck holes in them. So
But they have actually been played in
they've
the
been played
casino.
with.
But you have to be 21.
Yeah, who's
in order
21? Here, raise your hand if you're not 21. Oh, well, if you're near not 21, when
And these are actual dice from
Those are from the craps table.
So you can take those as well.
don't play dice on the streets.
I just watch it on YouTube so I can learn.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, the craps game is interesting. I don't know if y'all trying
One
to
of the
learn.
games with the best odds, though. Crap.
Who gamble? Anybody here gambles? There you go. What do you like to play?
I play golf. I know all about
Oh, where at?
I built it at Roadhouse, so I did play sports, but I wasn't golf right now.
Oh, nice.
Gotcha.
Y'all love dice. That's my favorite game.
Well, when
Craps.
you guys show up, this is like Christmas, isn't it? We get cookies.
Cards.
Oh, we're gonna do better stuff. Next time I'm gonna bring some pictures, but I gotta blur the
You'll definitely
faces.
beat the Peabody.
Oh, that's
Doug
not a
Brown?
competition. Doug Brown knows I ain't no competition. Huh?
The Peabody gave us free dinner.
Free dinner.
Free dinner.
Some.
I raised my hand multiple times and you back and called on.
Oh, that sounds good for next time. I got you.
Somebody got a free dinner and they answered the question wrong, so I'm not okay with giving participation.
Oh, I can do that trivia game next
All right,
time.
before we adjourn, and everyone grabs a deck of cards or a pair of dice or something. Any other questions, concerns, job requests?
Very fun industry. Everything that you go to school for, you use in it in some capacity. But I've been in it since I graduated. I love it. I wouldn't change professions. I'll be in this until I want to retire 50.
Yeah. Well, I want to drive 55,
That's it.
60.
That's it for
60 is
me.
my goal.
You're 52 maybe?
60 is my goal. 52. I don't have your stock.
30?
30s. Man, I like it. I like your ambition. That's pretty strong. Do it. Ain't nothing is impossible.
Retire at 30?
Giant to and I'm on to a 3.
But I'll tell you one thing though, when you're retired though, it'll get boring because you don't have much to do.
Yeah, you gotta be,
You want to be active. That's why a lot of my players that
You gotta be careful.
could have retired when they were 30, they're like, dude, I like the business. I like to be around. Don't rush it either.
I'll take your homework,